Okay, day one, we've already done our warm-up, so we're going to hop into our notes. This is dimensional analysis. It sounds kind of complicated, but it's just being able to convert from one unit of measurement to another. Okay, so we are going to review a couple terms that you guys have been learning about in this chapter. And the first one is ratio. So a ratio is the comparison of two quantities. And this can be expressed in three different ways. And just to give you an idea, or just to bring back your memory, we can do 4 to 3, 4 over 3, and 4:3. Okay. A rate and a unit rate, they are both just special types of ratios. A rate is a ratio in which the two quantities have different units of measurement. Okay, and some examples for you. I could say, oh, so-and-so can type 250 words in 5 minutes. That's a rate. I could say, oh, we traveled 120 miles in 2 hours. It's a ratio. 36 miles per 3 gallons. So yes, they are ratios. Or rates, are they the most useful type of rate? No, because it makes it hard to compare. And that's why we get something into a unit rate. A unit rate is a rate which has been simplified to have a denominator of 1. Now this is pretty simple to do. You just take the top divided by the bottom and you'll get your unit rate. So I'm going to actually take these ones and I'm going to change them. So my examples would be 50 words per minute, 60 miles per hour, and 12 miles to the gallon. Then, once you have unit rates, you can make comparisons. Oh, they were driving fast, or they were driving slow. Oh, they can type or read really fast, or oh, my car gets better gas mileage. Okay, because we know how to compare and to make comparisons with unit rates. So the new word, dimensional analysis, it sounds big and scary, but it just means that it is the way to convert. So converting one measure or rate to an equivalent measure or rate. So here's the deal. When we did our warm-up and we took Quentin's speed, we didn't change how fast he was going. We just changed the units that it was measured in. Okay, because sometimes certain units are more useful than others. So we're going to start off with some simple ones. So the first question says, how many inches are there in 7 feet? Now I know that many of you could tell me this answer out the top of your head, right? Okay, now that's fine, and I know that some of you are going to be very tempted to solve some of these problems without doing this portion, but I'm going to tell you that this is a 3-day unit. And every day it's going to get just a little bit trickier. So I want you to practice the skills that I'm doing in the beginning, okay? So the first thing you're going to do is take what you are given. So we are given 7 feet. Then we are going to pick out the ratio, okay? So the ratio is how we get from feet to inches. So we need to take and know how many inches are in a foot. How many inches are in a foot? 12. Okay, so I'm going to put 12 inches on the top and 1 foot on the bottom. These are equal to each other, so the ratio is going to be equal to each other. It says ensure that the units cancel correctly. So this is new to you guys. When I say cancel correctly, feet has to go on the bottom because feet is on the top here. And I know this doesn't make a ton of sense yet, but it will. So these will cancel. And then what do we want to get? So we want our answer in inches. Okay, so this is kind of helps us figure it out. What are we given? What ratios are we going to use? And what do we want our final answer to look like? So step 3, multiply, multiply, and divide. So our problem is going to be set up 7 feet. If it's not a rate, if it's just 1 unit, you're going to put it over just a regular unlabeled 1. Then we are going to multiply by our ratio, which is 12 inches over 1 foot. Now, because I know that feet and feet are going to cancel because they're diagonal, I can cancel those out. And then what you are going to do is multiply across the top. And then you are going to multiply across the bottom. Seven times 12 is 84, and 1 times 1 is 1. Then you are going to divide and label. Well, what's 84 divided by 1? 84. What's our label that's left over? Is inches. And that is your answer. So the answer, there are 84 inches and 7 feet. Now, I understand that all of you probably could have done this one just by multiplication, because you know that inches are smaller and it's easy to convert. But these are going to get more complicated because you might have to take it from feet to millimeters. So not only are you going to something really small, but you're going to a different system of measurement as well. So I'm going to teach you the skills so that we can do those types of problems as we get further. Okay, so we're going to do another one. It says, how many quarts are there in 24 cups? So what are we given is the first step. 24 cups, right? What ratio? We need to know how many cups are in a quart or quarts are in a cup. Do you guys know? 4 cups in a quart. Okay, so there are 4 cups equal to 1 quart. That's my ratio that I'm going to use. what do we want to get? We want to know how many quarts. So this is what we kind of take out of our problem, and then I'm going to show you how to set it up. So the 24 starts us off, and we're just going to put it over 1. Now I told you that we need cups to cancel, and so we need to put cups on the bottom. So right here I'm going to take this, and I'm going to put the 4 cups on the bottom and the 1 quart on the top. What happens here is that cups and cups will cancel, and they'll leave quarts left over. So then our job is to multiply across the top. 24 times 1 gives us 24. 1 times 4 gives us 4. And then we're going to simplify this with division. 24 divided by 4 is 6. Yep. And then what's our label? Quarts. So there are 6 quarts and 24 cups. Okay, so why don't you guys try the next one? I will help you get started. It says how many pounds are there in 80 ounces? So we are given 80 ounces. We have to get from pounds to ounces. Who knows how many pounds are in an ounce? 16. So 16 ounces equals 1 pound. And then what do we want? We want to know how many pounds. So you guys set it up. Okay. When I set up my problem, I have 80 ounces, and I'm going to put it over 1. Okay, so now my question for you guys is 16 ounces going to go on the top or the bottom? The bottom, that's right. So 16 ounces goes on the bottom. The reason I know that is because I want ounces to cancel. So the 1 pound goes on the top. And then we multiply. 80 times 1 is 80. And 1 times 16 is 16. 80 divided by 16 is 5. And your label that's left over is pounds. So there are 5 pounds in 80 ounces. Okay, so like I said, today is going to be the simpler of the days. I would like to jump to our homework, and I'm going to do 2 problems with you. I am going to do, let's do letter H together. Okay. On all of these problems, you are only going to need 1 ratio to get from point A to point B. All of the useful ratios are at the top of your page. So when I look at letter H, I know that I need to go from miles to kilometers. So you go to the top. Which one has miles and kilometers? It's right here. Okay. So is miles going to go on the top or the bottom? Bottom. So 0.62 miles, and then 1 kilometer goes on the top. If you'd like, you can put this over a 1. Five times 1 is 5. 1 times 0.62 is 0.62. And then your final step is to divide. So 5 divided by 0.62, and it gives us a decimal. It says round to the 10th where necessary. So this one is necessary to round to the 10th, so it's going to be 8.1. So 8.1 kilometers. Okay. So the next one that I'd like to do one from the other side. These ones are comparisons. So for example, let's do letter D. Now, in my head, I do not know if 7 liters is more or less than 2 gallons, because I'm not very familiar with liters and gallons. So we are going to convert one to the other. Now on these ones, it does not matter if you take liters and switch it to gallons, or you take gallons and switch it to liters. It's totally your preference. So just out of habit, I'm going to start with the one on the left. And I'm going to multiply it by a conversion factor to get it into gallons. So I go up to the top, and I see that my liters and gallons is right here. That 3.78 has to go on the bottom, and the 1 gallon has to go on the top. They cancel. You get 7 divided by 3.78. So 7 divided by 3.78, and that gives you 1.85. So 7 liters equals 1.85 gallons. So who's bigger, 1.85 or 2? 2. On these problems, you do have to have your work if you want your points. And then the rest of them you should be able to figure out, but as always, I can take any questions.